Hello. Usually, I would celebrate St. Patty's Day in a different way, but today is St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to read a short story from this book titled "Favorite Irish Legends." It's a dual language book. I can't read Irish though, so I'll be reading the English version. And we'll just read one story. It's called "Balor of the Evil Eye." Long, long ago, when Tuatha De Danann lived in Ireland, they were tormented by the heavy hand of the Fomorians, seafaring giants who lived on an island on the north side of Ireland. They demanded taxes from the Tuatha De Danann. Balor of the Evil Eye was the leader of the Fomorians. He was given his name because he was able to kill men with one glance from his evil eye. For this reason, he kept his eye covered when he was not in battle. Balor had only one child, a beautiful daughter whose name was Aithne. When Aithne was still a little girl, a druid prophesied that Balor would someday be killed by his great-grandson. His grandson. Balor was frightened when he heard the prophecy. He locked Aithne in a high tower with 12 women to keep a sharp eye on her. Following Balor's instructions, the women did not allow Aithne to see any man. Balor threatened to kill them if they did not do as he ordered. Aithne grew into a beautiful woman. One day, when Cian, the sun god, was near the tower, he saw the lovely girl sitting by the window, and he wondered about her. With magic, he made himself invisible and came into the tower. Then he made himself visible only to Aithne. The other women could not see him. Aithne was astonished to see this handsome stranger facing her. She had never before seen a young man. They became friends, and Cian paid her visits each day after that, and eventually they fell in love. Aithne was very happy during those days. The other women did not understand what was happening. They thought Aithne was talking to herself and perhaps losing her mind, because they saw no one else in the tower. After a while, the women realized that Aithne was going to have a baby. They were astonished, but more importantly, they were terrified of Balor and his evil eye. A while afterwards, Aithne gave birth to 3 sons. The women sent word to Balor. A great rage came over him, and he killed the 12 women. Then he gave orders to drown the 3 babies. A messenger wrapped the babies in a blanket and put them in a small boat. Aithne was keening and crying out loud, but locked in the tower, there was nothing she could do. The messenger went out to the sea and the babies in a small boat. The messenger went out to sea with the babies in a small boat. The sea was rough and the waves were very high. One of the babies fell out of the boat into a sort of whirlpool. There was a druidess living in the pool, and she saved the baby. She delivered him to his father, Cian, but the evil messenger drowned the other 2 babies. Aithne was distraught. Her heart was broken. She thought that all of her babies were dead, and she herself died shortly after that. Cian was broken-hearted when he heard the terrible news. He asked Manannán Mac Lir, the god of the sea, to be the foster father of the young baby. They gave him the name Lu, and went to the sea to live in the world of Manannán Mac Lir. 3 times 7 years afterwards, Lu put his eye on Ireland and told his foster father that he had to return. Lu had grown into a handsome man, and Manannán Mac Lir knew that the right time had arrived for him to go back to Ireland. The Tuatha De Danann were miserable in their own country because of the Fomorians, the hideous giants who were terrifying them. Manon and McLear knew that Lew would be the savior of his people. Therefore he gave his own sword to Lew, the sword that was called the Sword of Light. He also gave him his white horse. When Lew sat on the horse's back, they were invisible to everyone. Lew arrived at the fort of Nuada of the Silver Hand, king of Tuatha De Danann. He greeted the gatekeeper and said that he would like to go inside to speak with Nuada. "No one may enter here who does not have a craft. What craft have you?" "I am a carpenter," said Lew. "We have carpentry here," said the gatekeeper. "I am a smith," said Lew. "We have a smith," said the other man. "I am a harpist," said Lew. "We have a harpist," said the man at the gate. "I am a poet," said Lew. "We have a poet. We do not need another." "I am a druid," said Lew. "There is a druid here," said the gatekeeper. "Go in now," said Lew. "Ask your king if there is a man inside who can do all of these things." The gatekeeper hurried to Nuada, the king. "There is a wonderful man outside at the gate. He is skilled in all the arts. He is a master craftsman, and he wants to come in." "Let him come inside," said Nuada. "I am here to help you face the Fomorians," Lew said Nuada, when he came to the fort. Nuada looked at the handsome man standing before him, and he believed what he said. While they were talking, a group of Fomorians came to the fort to collect taxes from the Tuatha De Danann. Nuada took courage from Lew. "Leave us alone," said Nuada to the Fomorians. "We will not pay any more taxes to you." The Fomorians were enraged, and they pulled out their swords. Lew raised the Sword of Light up into the air, and a light shone from the sword that blinded the Fomorians. They were afraid of their lives and fled from the fort. Nuada called after them, "Tell Balor that the Tuatha De Danann are not a bit afraid of the Fomorians." When Balor heard the news, he gathered together all the Fomorians, and they set out for the hill of Usanik to do battle with the Tuatha De Danann. The Fomorians were as plentiful as the sand on the beach, but the Tuatha De Danann were just as strong. The battle was fierce. The spears were whipped by like the wind. Lew stayed up on a hill above the battle. He was looking down on the crowd, waiting for Balor. As soon as Balor arrived, the Fomorians began to chant, "Balor, Balor, Balor." Balor loomed terrible against the horizon. The Fomorians gave their strength to him, and slowly he opened his evil eye. In a flash, a group of the Tuatha De Danann lay stretched out, dead, on the ground. High King Nuada in their midst. Then Lew was there and ready with his sling. He looked carefully at Balor, who was standing before him with his eyes shut. Balor was gathering strength for the next attack of his evil eye. Lew put a small stone into his sling and flung it at Balor just as the eye was opening again. The stone hit Balor right in his evil eye, and he fell dead to the ground. The battle was over. The Tuatha De Danann were victorious. Without Balor, the Fomorians had no strength. They returned to Tory Island. The prophecy had come true. It was Lew, grandson of Balor, who killed his grandfather. High King Nuada was dead, and the Tuatha De Danann had no king. Lew, the savior of the Tuatha De Danann, was made king, and there was peace and happiness in Ireland after that. The end. Well, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.